Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to a new episode of The Ranching Side. Got through the holidays okay. Hope everybody had a good Christmas and everything like that. And survived. Had some good time with family. So it was nice. Take a little break. But now we're into the new year. Things are slowing down a lot. Work is back to a normal schedule. The ranch has kind of slowed down a little bit. So now we can get caught up on some projects. So today we have a lot of burn piles that need to go off. A lot of brush and things and trees that were taken out in the last couple of years that have been pushed to piles that we're going to start burning. And then I have some fence that I need to replace. Really just one H brace that was broken. One of the bulls jumped over it, took it out, so we're going to replace that. And see how much time we have. Maybe get to a few other things, depending on what the day brings. But really just kind of starting to work on some of our maintenance stuff. So we'll run the excavator for a little while, pile some brush. I've got my friend Jesse coming out to help me. He's going to kind of monitor the piles and keep everything going there, but also make sure they're under control so that I can go and work on that fence and not have to worry about the burn piles, taking off somewhere they shouldn't. So that's the plan for today. I'll kind of video it as we go along, get some pictures, and kind of explain what we're doing. But such as winter right now, it's just a lot of maintenance. Things that are on the horizon for the ranch, probably Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to be calling down to a feedlot in the valley outside of Oakdale. And I have 3 long yearling steers. What I mean by long yearling is they are calves from last year's calf crop. So they're, pushing about 16 months right now. And they're ready to go on feed for some of our direct-to-consumer marketing. So we'll send those steers down until about mid-April. And then I have a couple of buyers lined up. I have a few spots still open. If anybody's interested in a half, feel free to reach out and we can talk about that. So that's going to be coming up soon. They'll probably go down to the feedlot in hopefully next weekend or something like that. Other things that are going to be coming up, some of the spring cows are going to start getting kind of calvy, getting ready to calve mid-February to beginning of March. And we're going to start looking at the irrigation ditch in the next couple of weeks, start doing our maintenance on that, making sure that these winter storms haven't destroyed it too much, and see what needs to happen to get it going so that we're ready to go when water gets turned on, usually around May 1st or so. So that's kind of where we're looking on the horizon. Those kind of things, we'll start getting around to weaning calves and second round of vaccines, all that stuff in April. But for now, it's just maintenance. It's about keeping everything going, using the downtime to do repairs, to address things that have been neglected. So that's where we're focused today. So let's get after it. We're still working on getting some of those piles to burn. It's rained the last couple of days, as you know, so they're a little wet. Some of that wood's a little wet. Might take a little more diesel and maybe a little more dry days dried out before we can light some of those piles. But in the meantime, I mentioned we're gonna replace one of our braces out here. So this corner here along the driveway was pretty old. It's pretty rotten. The post is starting to lean over. And this is our lead up down to the corral. Right? All the cows get pushed through these gates here to go down to the corral. So this corner gets a lot of pressure when the cows get here and they start pushing on it. And on the other side of this fence behind me is the neighbor's field. So obviously don't want the cows to break through and get into there. So we're going to replace this, rehang the gate that goes across the driveway when we need it. So got one post set there. It's looking a little high, but it's 32 inches in the ground, which is okay and packed pretty tight. Now we're starting to work on the other one, getting the hole dug here. We're about 24 inches down right now, and sent my friend Jesse, who helps me out here. He's going to my house real quick to get a digging bar because I wasn't expecting to hit as much rock as we did. And then we're gonna set a new post, And then we have another railroad tie that's going to go across, and we'll notch and drill that into place with some screws, and then do some wiring and everything, and we'll show you that process as we go. Result of our H-brace project from the other day, I forgot to follow up on that. So kind of a little bit of what happens here, what we did putting this all together. So you have, these are, you know, railroad ties, used ties, 2 vertical, 1 across, and then you notch into the vertical post just a little bit to create a seat for the horizontal post to go in. And then we use some screws. People can use nails to secure those. And then after you put it all together, to keep it tight, you run this twitch tie. So it's basically, you make a circle of barbed wire, bottom corner to top corner, all the way around a circle, and then use either a stake or some rebar or something, and you just twist it till that wire gets tight in a spiral like that. And that keeps the post from separating. And basically what it does is it makes a connection between the top corner and the bottom corner to keep, it can't lean towards the right now. It can't, you have a perfect square basically. It doesn't allow for this top corner to move to the right away from the bottom corner, because that would make that diagonal a longer distance, and it keeps it tight. Normally with a fence, you like this, where the wires keep going and this is the end, it would be tied the opposite direction because that's where the most amount of force would be. But this fence is really old, and so we couldn't really do a lot of pull with it. So we did it the other way, because with this gate hanging there, there's more weight to the road side than the other side. And then all we did was basically splice in. There was a lot of really old wire, kind of chaos here, so spliced the best I could with new wire, and then pulled it, wrapped it, and stapled it. Eventually we'll redo this fence. I'd like to. It's pretty old, so the wire's really rusty, really brittle. It almost makes it hard to really splice new wire together with it, because it just wants to crumble in your hand. So we'll get down the road on that eventually, but it's gonna be a conversation with the neighbor, because that's not our property on that side. And you know, they feel like, well, they don't have cows, so they aren't responsible for it, but they do have horses. So that's a longer conversation for another time. But that's a result of the H-brace that we did. Normally I do steel, but in a pinch, I don't have a welder, so wood works, and it's not really any more or less expensive to do wood. This will probably be the next one I do. This one's pretty rotten, so I have all the posts and everything to do that. Just a matter of having the time. I'll replace that one, redo the wire gate that's right there on the other side of this metal gate, and then hopefully kind of be able to fix some of this fence, make it tighter, because again, this isn't really our property really on either side. The road is an easement to another property, but when we gather cows down there to the corral, you know, this gets a lot of pressure on it, so you get to get that fixed. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of this episode of the ranching side. We're doing things a little bit backwards on this episode. We gathered some steers yesterday that are in one heifer that are going to a feedlot today, so that's the focus of today's video, but I forgot to video the setup for it yesterday, so that's today. So basically what I do every year around this time is I take 3 or 4 steers usually. This time I have 1 heifer mixed in there, You might be able to see why later. But I take them to a feedlot when they're about 750 pounds and put them on grain to finish out, get some better meat quality, a little faster growth, just makes a better quality animal. And then those steers are butchered in April and sold to direct to consumers in either halves or wholes. Occasionally I do quarters, but I'm trying to get away from that. So that's what's happening today. We're gonna take these steers in the trailer down to the lot. Usually in the past, I've gone over to Smith Valley, Nevada, to a feedlot over there. A friend of mine from college runs a lot there. But this year we're changing things up. I'm going down to a place by Oakdale. It's a new place, but I've heard good things. Main benefits are it's obviously a lot warmer in Oakdale than it's going to be in the Nevada desert, and so hopefully they should gain a little better because they're not putting as much energy into staying warm. Number two, it's a lot closer. It takes me about 35 minutes to get to this feedlot as opposed to 3 hours to get over to Smith Valley. And I don't have to deal with any out-of-state paperwork. I don't have to have a vet do a health inspection. I don't have to deal with brand inspections, anything like that that goes with moving cattle state to state. So it's gonna be a little more convenient for me to take them there. So that's where we're gonna go. If you have questions, as always, please feel free to drop them in the comments and ask, and engage. And I do have, if anybody's interested, I have a half of a beef still available for sale. It's priced based on the cutting weight, or the hanging weight of the carcass. So usually 350 to 400 pounds is what it's going to hang at. The price is $5.50 per pound, so $5.50 per pound. I pay for the kill, and then the buyer pays the cut and wrap at the butcher and ripping when they pick it up. So if you want more details, please feel free to reach out. But we're going to go down and grab the trailer and get going. Three that are going to go to the feedlot today, 2 steers and a heifer. The white face is probably my favorite one of these 3. I think he could have made a good show calf for a fair. This 28 here, she's the heifer. So part of the reason she's going, and now she's against the rail there, she got some pink eye in her eye, so she's got a bad eye. It's a little white and cloudy. She got that when she was a calf, and so now it's just scarred. She's a little blind in that eye. And then she also has some sort of respiratory thing. Sometimes you might be able to hear her as she goes by. She's pretty quiet there, but basically she has a kind of a raspiness. She almost like Darth Vader. So if I had taken her to the auction yard, they would have dinged me pretty hard on the price. So she's gonna go to the feedlot, get fed out. Heifers feed just fine. So yeah, we're gonna get loaded up and get on the road here. See if we can get them in the trailer nice and easy. We're down here now at 8 cattle. This is kind of between Oakdale and Farmington, for those of you that are familiar with the area. So let's get these unloaded. Do it on their own. Go this way. One thing about this trailer is the solid panels. It's hard to spook them out. We'll go around the other side. I'm gonna use this trailer today though, because I need to work on it at home later. Instead of my gray trailer. This one's a new acquisition. Okay, so they're just gonna chill here for a while until Jaden, who is running this place, comes down, gets him weighed in, gets him to a pen, and then he'll call me and get my billing info, and yeah, we'll get these three on some feed. Hopefully have them ready for butcher mid-April, mid to late April. So now we can head back home, fix the trailer, and we'll be back in about 3 or 4 months. You've probably noticed in my videos that I have steel trailers as opposed to aluminum trailers, and I often get asked about that. There's a reason why I use steel trailers as opposed to aluminum like a lot of other people. Number one is cost. That's the main reason. I purchased both of these steel trailers for less money than somebody can buy one aluminum trailer. The drawback is they sometimes don't last as long. They rust easier. But like my gray trailer, I got that for probably half as much as you can get, even close to a new aluminum trailer. So if it lasts me 20 years and I have to buy another one and it lasts me another 20 years, I'm still money ahead on an aluminum trailer. Also, they're easier to work on. It's easier to weld steel than aluminum, so if they do rust or something breaks or whatever, it's pretty easy to have that fixed. My friend Jesse that helps me out here at the ranch, he is a welder too, so it's pretty easy to get these worked on. So that's why. But the downside is they take a little more to maintain. You have to be more careful with them. Example, they do rust easier, and so it's important after each use or every so often to hose out the inside, because all this manure and the urine will eat at the steel. So now we get to hose out the trailer from hauling those steers to the feedlot. This brings us to the conclusion of this 2-part ranching side update episode. Going forward the next couple weeks or so, they say things are kind of slow right now, so it's a lot of maintenance projects. We're going to be clearing some trees off fences, that kind of thing. We're going to go back, try to burn some of those piles that we tried to do last weekend, and those kinds of things. Just clean some stuff up, do some minor repairs here and there. And then those spring cows that we have, those ones that didn't get bred last year that I held over and put out with the bull, again, to try to get some calves here in February. They should start calving in the next month and a half. So that's going to be on the horizon. We'll do another round of calving videos when that happens, and some new explanations. But now's a good time for questions, things people want to see. If you're curious about anything with the ranch, you want to see different parts of it, anything that comes to mind would be helpful to provide some content while things are slow. So if there's any curiosities, any questions, anything that I can help answer, this next couple weeks while I have some time would be a really good time for those. But in the meantime, as I find things to show you or things that are interesting, just to keep some content out there and keep it kind of fresh, then I'm going to do that. And in the meantime, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode. Again, as always, please like, please share, please comment, please pass this along to people. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of The Wrenching Side. Thanks, everybody.